Pick a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Nick Atkin on the South China Morning Post, and today I got a very fun guest. I'm joined by none other than Filthy Tom Lawlor. Tom, what's up, mate?
Not too much, just hanging out here in Las Vegas, beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, in my home office here, adorned with great memorabilia from the UFC. My man Kane from the WWE up there, and some posters myself. So I have a good time when I'm in this room. So let's keep it up.
Yeah, I forgot about your love for Kane because there's been many a night where I have fallen asleep to the dulcet tones of yourself and Brian Alvarez on Filthy Four Daily. Yeah, how is that going? You just jumped off a podcast now. Were you just recording?
Yeah. I was just recording. We finished about 25 minutes ago. So it's pretty good timing there. I would just like to point out, okay, well, all of the unrest and everything going on in the U.S. recently, I stayed very true to form, very true to my gimmick, and I voted the libertarian way. And I did not vote for either of the Democrat or Republican party. So I just want to put that out there. I stayed true to form. I voted the same way that Kane did and would have, I assume. So yeah.
Kane's a mayor, isn't he, in America? He's actually have I got that right? A town? I can't remember where it is.
Yeah, the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
Okay,
amazing. Yeah. Within 2 minutes, this has devolved about Kane.
Well, I can't deny you talking about Kane. I know you love Kane so much, so I have to talk about Kane as well. And I love Kane. He's a great dude. We'll get to some of your MMA. That's what we're here to talk about, PFL. But because you became a pro wrestler after you got suspended in the UFC, you started doing pro wrestling. You're going pretty big with MLW. You had your debut with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah, how's the latest on the wrestling front, and is it going to be tough to kind of do it at the same time with the MMA? Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, so you kind of have the right story there. There's more to it than that. My first MMA fight was 2003, so that was like really early on, before it was really a popular sport. And then I was still in college at the time, and a couple of years later, 2005. I started to do professional wrestling, and I did that for a few years on the independent scene in Florida. And then the whole time I was training mixed martial arts. You know, it's not like the sport's not like it is now, where a lot of people try to take it professionally and get into it as a source of income and really try to live out their dreams as, you know, like a UFC fighter. Back even in, you know, like 2007, 2008, it was a lot smaller scene. And that is when I kind of transitioned over into MMA. So I was in both worlds, you know, kind of early on. And, you know, when I was unfortunately suspended by the UFC and USADA in, I guess it was 2016. You know, I think I went back to the ring in 2017, but the physical activity and all that part of it, that's the easy stuff, doing break falls and training with resisting opposition, and then going into, you know, in an MMA setting, and then going into a professional wrestling ring and doing it with somebody who's allowing you to throw them. It's relatively easy to be safe unless you're doing something really wild. But it's like the mental aspect, the travel, the lifestyle. It's completely different than what I was used to. And that sort of thing takes a toll on your body. And it also takes a toll on you mentally. And I know that upcoming this season in the PFL, the 2021 season, I mean, this is it for me. I mean, I'm done after this when it comes to MMA, you know, at least in my mind. I may never retire, because if you retire, you come back. That's just how it works. So I may just not fight for a long time, for like 20 years. So knowing that that's the case, you know, I'm going to cut off some of the pro wrestling activity pretty soon here. You know, obviously it's been a really weird time. I signed with the PFL, I think the week before this pandemic really started like taking hold of the US. So I thought at that point that, hey, 2020, come, December 31st, that's it for me. And now, I had to delay that by a whole year. And when you're my age, it's like those years get longer and longer on your body. Luckily, I'm not in a situation where like I need to cut weight. I need to watch my weight. I actually need to gain weight. So I can eat and kind of take care of myself as well as, a fighter can for the most part. So I think that's going to be a big benefit. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to trying to juggle the two of them this year. And I'm not planning on doing it. I've been doing MMA for 17 years now. I've been fighting. I've been training for like 20 years, and that's just a really long time to do something. I plan to be training, the rest of my life. It's something that I love, but doing something for like 17 years, it takes a toll on you. So part of me is really excited for this, kind of mentally. I can look at it and put myself through hell knowing that, it's a year. I can handle that, So part of me is really pumped up about that fact. I can kind of like throw caution in the wind. What does it matter if I break both my hands? I'm not going to fight again. So.
What was it like having that? You had the emotions. You must have been pretty pumped up, ready to go again, and then you've had to sit out another year. It must be super frustrating, I imagine.
Yeah, and for a while it was kind of like we didn't know if the season was going to be completely postponed, if it was going to take place later in the year and kind of be a condensed season. So I had to keep training the whole time. I haven't really taken, aside from a few weeks when all the gyms were shut down, I haven't taken time off. Luckily I have a home gym here that I use virtually almost every day. So when everybody's out scrounging for workout equipment and stuff like that, I have all that stuff here. So I can continue to train like normal, doing 2-a-day sessions. A lot of times it wasn't what I wanted it to be. It wasn't I wasn't fighting a willing partner. Sometimes you got to grab, your 5-year-old son and hit him with a few power bombs in order to get a workout in during the pandemic, but you got to do what you got to do, So I kept training the whole time. And luckily, like I said, we're in Vegas here, right? So this is the fight capital of the world. So gyms got back to it pretty quickly. And so did I. I avoided the COVID virus for the most part for the first, what would be like 6 months of it. So I was able to train. Other people that I was around had gotten it, but I didn't get it. My wife got it. I didn't get it. And then in November, I actually came down with it. So that's been pretty much the only break I've had during that time.
Yes, because the reason I was able to get this interview with you is because you train with my friend Sasha Polatnikov at Syndicate MMA. He's from Hong Kong, and he also got the coronavirus, I think, around about that time, just before he did it. He made his debut in the UFC. So yeah, he said he ran up Potosi Mountain to clear out his lungs. Did you do similar or what?
No, I mean, I stayed. I haven't been up in the mountains. It's tough. Like, my wife's not big into the cold weather, so it's tough to have a willing participant to go up there and spend some time with. But I spent a lot of time outside. Like I said, I exercise like nonstop. So I saw the video of Sasha up there running the mountains. I did not envy him at that time. But hey, if it works, then maybe I'll be up there, hitting those same trails soon enough. There's a lot that can be said about the mental aspect of training and going into like the shittiest conditions possible and getting it done. And it looked pretty bad.
Back to the PFL. I got to talk about the PFL, otherwise their PRs will probably kill me. This is, you're saying, your final flurry, you think, in MMA with the PFL. I'm sure $1 million paycheck at the end of it would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it would be great. Like I said, I don't know that I'm going to ever retire because if you retire, you come out of retirement. So I'm saying that. My hope, my goal is to make this, the last hurrah, my last competition season in mixed martial arts ever. And like I said, you said it, what better way to go out there with a $1 million check? There's also some pretty decent checks to pick up on the way there as well. So I'm excited I'm excited to find out when I'm going to fight. I don't know when. I don't know who I'm going to fight.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure of all the people that are in the weight class yet. But I can tell you that I'm going to be ready come April 23rd or April 29th or May, whatever it is.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you know any details on who else is going to be in the bracket or the tournament with you, the regular season? It's kind of scarce info at the moment, but I mean, I've seen PFL have been making some big signings elsewhere. Anthony Pettis has come in, Clarissa Shields. They're stacking up in terms of star power a little bit, aren't they? Yeah.
Some of the bigger name fighters. I've been waiting to hear some more announcements at light heavyweight. Obviously the champ Emiliano Sordi's back. What a great story that guy's got, right? Gave away all of his money in Argentina. Now you're gonna get pumped up to fight the guy. How are you gonna be angry and amped up to fight this guy? He's got to be the nicest guy in the world. Gave away $1 million to help people in his country.
Yeah,
right?
It's a very nice gesture. I'm sure you'll get pumped up. It's been a while since you've been in there. I think you had the Duran win, unanimous decision loss. Was it 2018, I think?
I don't put too much stock into that fight. I can look back on like past performances and, sorry, I'm getting messy. I can look back on past performances and nitpick them and everything. But I mean, really the end goal is to try to get better. And I know that wasn't my best fight. I had a moment in the last round where I hit him pretty hard and broke my hand. And then I was able to kind of grab what's usually my best finishing technique, the guillotine. But, one-handed, it's pretty tough to get a choke. And I ended up losing the decision there. Like I said, the only thing you can do is kind of move on and learn from it. Like I said, I don't think that was the best showing I've had. I don't think that was even close. And, it was kind of a weird situation. I didn't know who I was fighting until a few weeks before. It was the Golden Boy Promotions promotion. I don't need to say anymore.
The way you were treated by UFC, you had the 2-year suspension, but now other fighters are getting less for the same offense. It must kind of grate with you, given that they kind of cut your UFC career. They cut the legs off, didn't they? Yeah. I mean, in one sense, I'm happy every time I see one of these guys like Sean O'Malley, or I know like Diego Sanchez even get hit with one of these and it's like a 3 or 6 month suspension. That's cool. But at the same time, it sucks when you're the guy that is like the poster child for being screwed in this situation. And like, there's no payoff for me in the long run. This isn't gonna, like, USADA screwing me isn't gonna help me at any situation. They're not gonna come back and say, hey, we're sorry. Here's, the fight purses you missed out on. Here's the, shitty public opinion that people had of you back. None of that's going to happen. So it's really kind of a situation where it's like, I can't even look back on it and try to find the silver lining, in the cloud. It's just, it sucks. I think that they're bullshit. I think that the people running it are scumbags. I think that it's a failed operation already. I think that the way that Jeff Nowitzki and the people who are liaisons between it handle it is a joke. And I would be glad to let anybody know that. So that's my thoughts on it. Screw that. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I do think it was incredible what they did. It was just so wrong. And as you said, now at least there's a silver lining with some of the other guys who are there's some common sense now in the suspensions. But but I also had, like, I can tell you straight up, I had some of my best friends like look me dead in the eyes like I'm some liar, like I'm making some story up, like,
You know, I have no clue where this shit came from, and it's not. It was the USADA scientists claim now that up until like a year ago, they couldn't even detect this stuff at certain levels. But they told me 4 years ago exactly what the level I had was and how low it was. So what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Like, sorry, but.
No, I remember at the time, and I remember how emotional you were. But I have to say, I was always team Filthy Tom. I always believed you, man. And I knew it must have been really shit for you to go through that, and especially when the stuff with John Jones happened, right? And then they moved the whole event for him after he had I forgot what it's called, the pulsing. I don't know the name, but
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, what was it like going through that? Seeing it must have felt quite disrespectful to you, you know, after all that you'd been through.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's disrespectful to me, but it's not only me. It's like disrespectful to a lot of people in the sport. There's tons of other people, like Josh Barnett, right? Had years of his career stolen, and in the end, he won. He won the case against USADA. They had nothing, but yet, you know, he loses out on years of money. People look at him as a cheater, all this stuff. So, you know, every time I see it, it sucks because who was it? Luke Thomas was on Joe Rogan like a couple months ago. So I get a message from everybody, you know, like a message for 3 weeks about, hey, Luke Thomas is going to bat for you. Luke Thomas is going to, that's so cool. And it's like, yeah, that's great. Like I'm glad people realize the truth now, but it doesn't help me at all. You know, I just keep like, it's like reliving a bad dream over and over and over every time somebody gets caught and either let off or busted. You know, it's not like, I don't like it either way, but whatever.
Yeah, and it's good of Luke Thomas. Sorry, I brought up the bad memories. I'll leave it alone. But yeah, Luke Thomas went to bat for you. I've always gone to bat for you, but I have a much smaller platform than him, so no one really listens to me or cares. But yeah, so you haven't got any kind of opponent lined up, no date or anything like that?
If I have, it's been kept from me. Maybe it's like Ryzen, and I'm going to show up, and there's going to be a mystery opponent. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I mean, it's a season format, so for me, like you're going to fight, and then you're going to fight somebody else. You know, within a couple months, so you have to be ready for that next fight to a certain degree already, and then you have to be ready for the playoff system after that. So I like it because it's like there's a multi-layers of strategy, you know what I mean, to this. And I think it really adds something unique. And you see, like you mentioned earlier, Fabricio Verdum, you know, we got former UFC heavyweight champion, Anthony Pettis, former UFC light heavyweight champion, Rory McDonald, former UFC welterweight champion. So there's a big influx of talent right now into the PFL, and you know, I'm happy to be a part of it.
Did you consider offers? Anyone else approach you to compete? Anyone else out there, or was the PFL the perfect fit for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've had offers on and off over the past few years. Some of them just weren't good timing. Some of them were, you know, not worth it money wise. Some of them were just plain weird. So it just the timing wasn't working out. And I mean, really, I was doing okay wrestling. I wasn't really like going out and searching for fights. But I'm in the gym the whole time. So once I had the opportunity, it's like, you know, why not? Why not burn the candle as much as you can? If you're going to be in the gym all the time anyways, you might as well get something out of it. So I've been beating myself up for years for no reason. I'll be honest. So.
Was the MMA always in the back of your head, like, I still want to go back to that when you had the suspension? Or did there come a point in your mind when pro wrestling took over and you thought, actually, I'd rather do this for the rest of my kind of years?
There was one day, like 3 years ago, I was driving to the gym and I almost just turned around. I was like, I think I'm done. But I went anyways. And then I remember there was another guy who came in who had just gotten a title fight. And in my mind, I'm like, this guy's fighting for the belt. I'm back in. And, you know, that was it. So there was almost that one day that I was done. but it didn't last very long. It was like a 5-minute. I quit for like 5 minutes. I told one of the training partners when I went there, I said, I think I'm done. I'm just done fighting. And then that was out the window within 10 minutes after that. So,
are you glad you didn't quit now?
Yeah, I was gonna say, ask me again in a few months, like a normal jackass answer that I would have. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Like I said, part of it is the relief of knowing that there's like a finality to it in my mind, and maybe not even for the career, but for the season. You know what I mean? You know when this thing is up. You know, it's not like a guessing game like it's been my whole career. Like, is this Golden Boy show gonna happen? You know, is my opponent gonna get hurt here and then the fight falls out? You know, I'm going to fight on one of those 3 dates. I'm going to fight months later, and then I'm going to fight in the playoffs. So I'm really pumped up about the fact I can plan this out. And, you know, like I said, there's a huge ton of talent going to the PFL, and there's going to be more eyes on it than ever. And, you know, whether you want to admit it or not, as an athlete, if you're trying to make money, you want the spotlight on you. You know, you're doing it for a certain amount of attention. And, you know, I think PFL is going to have more attention than ever this year.
Is it going to be a bit surreal for you as a huge pro wrestling fan to have Lillian Garcia announce you to the ring in PFL?
No. It's different. I'll be honest, Nick, like, if I still had that mindset, which I used to when I was younger, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. You know, when you're kind of living it, it's a little bit different. You can't, you have to step outside of the box. You know, you can't look at it from like a fan standpoint. If I'm in there and I'm thinking like, oh, holy shit, that's Lillian Garcia, you know, I probably shouldn't be in there. So, yeah, it's going to be cool. And it's one of these things like, you know, there's a ton of stuff I've done that I look back on and I like think, man, that's so cool. And I know in like 10 years, I'm going to think it's even cooler. And that'll be one of those things, but it's so far from my mind right now. Plus, I mean, I already did her podcast. So.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize. When was that?
Over the summer.
Oh, okay.
They probably never aired it. But
I didn't see it, but I meant to interview Lillian today before you, but we had to reschedule. So I think it might be tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, I hear she's a good interview though. It should be fun. Did you enjoy that time on her podcast?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was. I was blown away. I mean, you know, obviously she's been doing work with the PFL, but like, you know, she knew her stuff. So, you know, it's refreshing. You know, not only, I mean, and we get to talk wrestling too. You know, obviously it ventured that way because how could it not? Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I asked you a little bit earlier about your pro wrestling stuff. What's the ceiling for you there? How far do you want to take that in your wrestling career? Whatever happens in MMA, have you got different aspirations for pro wrestling side of things?
We'll see. You know what I mean? It's tough to kind of plan something out when you have another goal in front of you. And like I said, I don't want to juggle these two. It's virtually impossible. It's damn near impossible to be successful at both of them at a high level at the same time. So, you know, like I said, my goal this year is the PFL. I'm a prize fighter. You know, obviously I love fighting. I love wrestling. But there's more money in the PFL. So that's where I'm going to be.
All right. Well, we cannot wait to see you in the PFL.
Ask me that question next year.
Okay. I can ask you next year. Well, when you win the $1 million, we'll get you back on the show, maybe.
When I win the $1 million, right, I may be one of these guys that has my own federation. Right?
Yeah.
You want to wrestle?
I've never done it before, but I'd love to learn.
That's not what I asked.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
All right, there we go. You're booked.
I'm in. Okay. Who am I going to face?
Dennis
Me and
Stanton.
Sasha?
No.
Okay. You'd have to teach me some, man. Okay, I could do that. Sounds good, man. Yeah, I can do that. I can do the interviews. All right. Well, Tom, man, I really appreciate you chatting to me. It's been really fun. as I said before, I'm a huge fan of everything you do with the Wrestling Observer guys and Brian and Filthy Four Daily. I can't wait to listen to that latest episode you just did. Actually, when's that going to drop?
It might be out already. I don't even know. I've listened to like one show ever in the history of the show. So,
are you not one of those people who?
I listened to the Christmas show and I really enjoyed it.
The Christmas shows are always great. I make a point of it on Christmas Day to listen to that, and everyone hates me because I spend 2 hours listening. You're not one of those people who just listens back to your own interviews or anything?
No, I've actually, it's weird. I've listened, it's probably because I've been traveling less, but I've listened to a lot less of the podcast, even though it seemingly have more time, sitting around because of COVID. So it's like I listen to, God, I don't even know. I haven't listened to them very much lately, to be honest. Very depressing for a while, Honestly, there was so much depressing news. It was like, I didn't want to put on the Wrestling Observer, and I didn't want to listen to news about COVID, news about people dying. It was just like it was too much for me. I was seeing it everywhere, so I quit cold turkey.
Again, appreciate you doing this one. I'm looking forward to going and listening to that as soon as I finish this. That's my daily routine, just putting on Wrestling Observer. Yeah, as I said, a real honor, a real pleasure to talk to you, Tom. I can't wait to see you fight, and hopefully we can catch up with you later in the year. And say hello to Sasha for me down at Syndicate. Cheers.
Yeah, once I get some more news, feel free. Feel free if you see a fight posted, get me back on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'd love to. I'll drop you a line again, man. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, Tom.
Take care, Nick.
Thank you.